Okay, welcome to Operation No Name, which I believe is over. Um, the Russians have surrendered, given the overwhelming force that is going to descend upon Moscow. Um, Still waiting on Warden, the final word to say if he is okay with the surrender at this point. Um, But just to kind of roll it out for posterity's sake, wanted to make a video to kind of see a what if scenario here, if we would have played out the final turn, just to kind of see if it's as convincing as it seems. Kind of the thought process was that if Moscow falls this turn, um, that would pretty much knock the USSR out of the game because they wouldn't be able to build next turn. And they just have some remnant pieces left, and it seems likely, given the pip count and the disparity in forces here, that there will be enough remaining German units to kind of clean up the rest of Russia, and that would kind of allow for 100 IPPs a turn to get sent to Italy, eventually get sent to Japan when connected with the railroad, and also just defend the Atlantic side. But I kind of wanted to roll out a couple things and see a couple things prior to that. Warden is staged here for potential Operation Overlord this next turn, which I'm assuming he would want to use in Western Germany, and part of that would be if he lands successfully here, he could knock out 5 fighters here that would participate in the attack going this way. Kind of in advance of that, to defend against it a little bit, I also forecasted that Italy would lend lease a fighter on their turn to the Germans to help defend that. So I figured we'd roll this out, kind of see what happens here. If he lands convincingly, then it would take these fighters out of then rolling the Moscow attack. So let's see if I can kind of stage this how I think he would. So first, they have to deal with the screening force here that is all these subs. So with that, we're going to bring in all these seaplanes. And I don't know if they would map or if they would. USA has long-range aircraft. I'm not sure if they would map or if they would just normally attack. I'm not 100% sure how that works. One thing that he would have to take into consideration, I would be able to, and reason being that I think that he would attack Western Germany. He could obviously land anywhere in France for free, but kind of in the spirit of doing everything to help prevent Moscow falling, which feels like an insurmountable obstacle for both the Allies and the Comintern. I would assume that he would come here to try to take these fighters out of the game. In coming in here, he has to deal with the screening force, so he kind of has to think through splitting the naval units. But I think bringing in, let's see, they were there 1, 2. So actually this coastal defense ship would not participate. He'd be stuck here. Everything else can reach easily. So, yeah, if I were him, you know what, I might even save this battle cruiser for bombardments. Oh, the French can't combine. That does not happen. So that debuffs this a little bit. So the French are ineligible for this because they're not part of the Commonwealth. So, those are hitting on 3. So he has to clear the screening force to get through. I guess one question that he might parse through a little bit more, I'll be more brief with the calculation, would be whether or not he would save more heavy cruisers for shore bombardment, or if he would just go with it for now. He does have a lot of light cruisers in here, so that would dissuade me from scrambling the aircraft. But we'll say that this is what he, roughly would have come with. Then these 9 planes would hit Western Germany along with this landing force. and a transport plane. I don't think he would do anything cheeky with that transport plane because it can't reach Berlin. And the fighters wouldn't be there to accompany that. And if he did try to hit there, I could scramble these two into it. And, so I think that's pretty safe to say that that's safe. And really, in thinking through this, I probably should have just taken these fighters over here since, yeah, but anyway, I didn't. So, okay, so we'll roll the naval battle. Let's say, you know what, let's say that these 3 British are at 5 because of the anti-sub warfare. Mat planes get 2 attack bonus on. Well, no, maybe he wouldn't do that because he wants to take them as, well, he can't take them as casualties because subs can't hit them. So, but he might want them for subsequent rounds of combat. So we'll say they roll at 3s. Could be wrong there. Okay, so 4 at 3. No hits there. And we've got, put these over here. Bunch of heavy cruisers. All right, so 5 heavy cruisers at a 6. And again, he would have had to plan for potentially a scramble to block the landing. So I think this is kind of like safe to say. Those shore bombardments don't make a huge difference anyway. So that is 2 hits. So the coastal, that's sub. Then 2 4s. 2 misses. And 4 5s. The light cruisers. All misses there. Okay, so definitely below odds. And we've got 8 subs. And 1 coastal. Alright, so that's a pretty good roll. So 2 target selects and 1 hit. So 2 targets would take these guys off. And if I were him, I would damage this carrier for the other hit. Okay, so next round, he's got 3 6s and 2 4s over here. Okay, so that's 2 hits. Then 4 5s. That's another hit. And then 4 3s up here. Oh, fantastic roll there. So that's 3. So 1 remaining. So I think that's 7 rolls this next turn. Unless I missed 1. So 7. Okay, no hits that turn. So there's just 1 sub left. We'll go ahead and say that he gets hit. And he misses on the way out. So The amphibious assault is on. Minimal casualties, all things considered. So, alright, so what we would do here is these two fighters would scramble into the battle. So, he's got 2 shore bombardments. Oh, another thing to note, these guys are here for this battle. So that's another potential impact that those airbornes would not be able to participate in Moscow. Okay, so 2 shore bombardments. Brown will be the 4. This will be the 3. And there's 1 hit. So we would take this infantry. I'll just put them over there. Okay. So, 8 fighters. Pretty bad. Should have expected 2 more hits there. 1 medium bomber. There's a hit. So that's a non-air hit. Then, does US have amphibious doctrine? No. So, maybe with that in mind, he would not bring this artillery, and he would bring another infantry just so they can all roll the first turn. The Brits do have amphibious doctrine, so everything gets to roll at the start. So that is, well, those are 3s. So okay, the greens will be 3s. So the Marines get a +1 attack, and the artillery participates right away. So those 3s there, and then we've got 2s. Another 3 for the airborne dropping in. Actually, I guess we'll wait on that because he could take that as a casualty. This is a lot to remember. Okay, so 6 2s here for the US. We'll roll those. 1 hit. And then these 8 here. Okay, so 2 more hits. That one's a miss. We'll bring these over here. What did I forget to roll? I think that's everything. So 6 hits, 2 have to be on the air. Okay, so this guy's already gone, not participating. So we would do 1, 2. These 2 fighters from Bavaria that can't reach Moscow would be the 2 air hits. And we need to pick 2 more guys. So we would do 3 and 4. Because what we really want those heavy air transports is to soak hits, and they could still drop 2 off at this point. Okay, so the swingy roll here is the AA shots. So we got 6 AA shots, and that is 2 hits, so close to odds. So 2 air superiority hits there. Then we've got 7 fighters. So okay, so not great actually, and well, I mean, yeah, pretty much odds. 3 more hits. So he has 5 air superiority hits to take, and if I were him, I would take the air transport as 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Alright, so now going down the line, we've got 3 3s with Elite Marines. No hits. We've got 1 4 with this infantry. That's a miss. And then we've got 6 5s. 6 5s. Okay, 2 hits. So those would be on the amphibious assaulters. So I think the Brits don't suffer double casualties, so I think they can just take these 2 and call it a day. I think that's how that works. So this dead pile grows over here, and we would go on to round 2. He's got a lot of 2s coming, but he's got 5 fighters to work through, so it could go either way, I guess. Alright, so 4 fighters, 1 medium bomber coming round 2. So that's 4 hits. And we go over here. These guys are still at 3. You know what, I think we'll give the benefit of the doubt and say that he would have brought that. So we'll swap out 2 3s over there. Because he probably would have, anticipating that there would be enough left over next round. Again, I'm going fast here, so I'm sure Warden would have done it differently and more correct, probably. Okay, so that's 1 hit, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 more hits for 8 total. So we would take these 6 and these 2. Okay. Alright, so 6 5s. Two hits, then 2 3s, and misses, and then 5 6s. This would be the part, would be nice for 4 hits. And how about 5 hits? Okay, so 7 total. So he would definitely take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So on to the next round. All at 3s here, I think. One hit. Sorry for the pause there. So he landed 6 hits, which would be the remaining 5 fighters. So he's going to land, well, he's going to have an option. So we'll do this. 5 6s. Okay, so 2 hits, 1 hit. That evens it out from last time. Okay, so they would take a Marine. So these fighters will not participate in Moscow in this scenario. So he lands in Western Germany with this. Not a bad result. These transports would be gone too. Yep, not a bad result. Likely would retake it, not convincingly, but we would bring in these 3 guys, and then 4 fighters would reach, so we would retake it. You know, if he gets, so he's at 2 4s, 2 3s, so should be getting at least 1 hit, maybe 2 hits. Even if he gets 3 hits, you know, I'd take 2 infantry out and then take the hit on the fighter just to make sure we take it back. And then, yeah, depending on the Moscow result, would be building a lot over here. Oh, I've got these 2 guys that could come in as well. So, yeah, so we would retake it in this scenario at least, even though it was a successful landing and he retained 4 fighters and a medium bomber. Pretty good result, I think, all things considered. So let's do the big one. So everything can reach. Put it all onto the card, and then we'll organize it down there. No, I guess we do need to do this somewhat carefully just to be as exact as possible. And what I mean by that is that these guys river penalty, these guys river penalty, then all these guys no river penalty. So just put them down there first. Oh, here's the Battle of Tula. Still out here. Okay, so they would be at a 5 to start. They would be at a 3 to start. Everything else is at their normal values. Okay. Quite the process to set this up, so if you're still watching. Yeah, good stuff. Okay. So, I think we've got it all set up here. What we'll do first is Air Superior, well, first strikes. So 6 out of 3. One hit each. So he'll take off the light tank. And I'll take the artillery, which I think is eligible for that. And that was a rule clarification I learned this game. Oops. Okay. Okay, so we'll do anti-aircraft fire just for future reference. I've got 3 at 3. That's gnarly. 2 hits. Then he's got 6 at 3. 1 hit. Okay. So he would take attack bomber first, still roll, and then he would take fighter that will still roll. Speaking of, we'll do the fighters now. 3 hits. So these guys down here will roll. One hit. Okay, so this other fighter would come off. That was a hit. That was a hit. That was a hit. So 4 hits total. So that was a pretty good result. So these guys are gone. And 1 tactical bomber is gone that will still roll this turn. So, or no, medium bomber will come off. Okay, so that's all the air hits. Now on to the rest of the round. Okay, so 3 3s here. That's 1 hit. Bunch of 4s. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits. Nice. 4 5s. That's 1 hit. Move these aside here. Whole bunch of 6s, 16 of them. Okay, that's a hit. Hit. So 9 hits there. Slightly above odds. Right within the range. 3 tac bombers. 3 hits with 1 target select. And the medium bomber. That's another hit. Okay, so target select would be an infantry. He has not rolled yet. So 1 infantry, that's 1. And 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19. 1, 2, 3, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Did I do that right? Okay. 1, 6, 7, 18. Oh man, my memory's failing me already. So we already did all the air superiority. Okay, 6, 7, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so one more. All right, so light tank, miss, 5 militia at a 3. Okay, so that is a medium tank that hit. Already did the artillery for the first strike, 1-4. The motorized, that's another medium tank. I gotta check on that. I don't know if all units get target select or just infantry. Did the fighters, did not do the tac bomber. That's a miss. And then 23 5s. Okay, bunch of medium tanks gone. Okay. So 1, 2, 3 medium tanks. He bumps up here. 3 medium tanks. I'll check on that city bonus real quick. I want to say I don't think it does. I think it's just infantry class and the motorized is vehicle class. Combat. Cities give defending infantry class units 1+ defense bonus on all rounds of combats and target selection at a 1. Okay, so the motorized does not count as the medium tank. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more hits. 8 more. So we'll take the 5 artillery and 6, 7, 8. Okay, so these guys bump up next round. This bumps up. And then we've got 17 infantry left. So 5, 10, 17. And 2 fighters left. Okay. Alright. So we need 19 hits to end it. Obviously not going to happen. Well, I mean, it shouldn't say obviously. Probably not going to happen. Just 2 there. Okay, and then 17 here. 9, 8. We're good. Okay. It's a miss, 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 miss. Oh, pretty, well, not great roll. So 7 hits there. One hit, target select doesn't matter. So 1, 8, 9, 10. Right? 1, 2, 9, 10 hits. Easy enough. 6, 7, 8. What the? 8, 9, 10. That makes sense because there's 17 left. Okay. Another target select. So I am seeing 5 hits, 1 target select, 6 hits, 6, 1 medium tank. It's off, and 6 hits, 1 medium tank, so 5 more. So 5 here. Okay, and then that's 10 die. Okay, so 7 left. And 2 fighters, so we're looking for 9 hits to end it. One hit. Man, advanced mech's lame. Guess they're just there to soak hits, though. And then we've got 16 tanks left. Ten, 6. Okay. First glance looks like we are short. Yeah, 1, 7. So 2 hits here would end it. 1 hit. So 8. So they're off, and then he's off. So 2 misses, 2 hits. This is the longest video I've had. 2 misses, 2 hits. They're off, and there's 1 fighter left. Another hit. So. Alright, so we take Moscow with a convincing remaining force, even without the aid from Western Germany. So there's a what if scenario. I think the dice were fairly, might have been slightly less because of how much my mechs missed, and they were decent, I guess, for the 5s. So maybe a fair representation of what would likely be there. Maybe with a little bit less. I mean, obviously dice can be dice, and it could swing a different way. But yeah, so think fair to say that yep, Moscow was going to fall, and subsequently, these guys would go and clean up down here, go get some more money, clean up this next turn. They'd probably go back to Leningrad. Well, no, they would have to try to get their money back or something. I'm not exactly sure. But then could start moving this force back, moving this force down, moving this force here. Subsequent couple turns, which we had, maybe 2, 3, 4 turns left. And then that would allow for 90, well, the entire German buy would already be on the board, and then subsequent turn would have like 100 IPP-ish to go towards the Atlantic. So I think that's a somewhat fair representation of what would have happened if we would have played it out. Yeah. Okay. If Warden does agree, if he wants to give it a try and go with it, we'll do that. Otherwise, good game, gentlemen, and hopefully we can play again. All right. See ya.